Good morning, everybody. Today I am going to be doing some crabbing. Yesterday night I packed the boat with everything I need for today, and that includes 10 new traps that I purchased recently. And one thing that my fiance added was the screen on top, because they came without a top on so that they could stack, but we like to include some screen on top so that the crabs don't go out the top when we pull them in. So we're both hoping that these new traps will catch a lot of crabs. The bait I am using today is an assortment of different chicken pieces. So I have some chicken necks right here, some drumsticks, chicken, what is this? Chicken thighs, which I've never used before, but they were in the fridge and they're old and expired. So instead of wasting them, I'll just use these for crabbing. So we've just been motoring for about 10-ish minutes. We came to the spot that we usually crab at and are about to start placing some crab traps. Zoe has been doing a really good job at baiting all of the traps. We have a lot more now than we used to have. And I actually found this basket floating in the water last weekend, so I fixed it up a little bit, but this will be a nice container to place the crabs in. Before I place any traps, I always check the depth. It's about 10 feet here, which is pretty ideal for crabbing, but you definitely don't want to place the traps in too deep of the water. The trap could sink all the way to the bottom and you'll lose your trap. That has happened to me before. So he's going to place the first trap in the water. It's about 7 a.m. First one going in. Good job. And the way I place my traps is put them down, and then every like 50 feet or so I'll drop another trap and just make a big line that we could circle back and forth and just pull the traps. Last trap going in. In total we have 16 traps in the water. Usually what I do is wait 15 minutes before I check them. I placed the first one at around 7 a.m. It is now 7:15 exactly. So we just finished placing them, but now we gotta go to the first one and pick it up. Okay, we are arriving to our first trap that we placed. So he's in position. She'll just lean over the boat and grab the line and yank it up. And hopefully there's some crabs in there. Yep. No crabs. That's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Nothing. Last one. Wow.
Oh, nothing.
No crabs.
Nothing.
Not a single crab on the first run. We usually catch crabs, but maybe it's just a slow day. I'm not sure. All right, round number 2 after a very unsuccessful first round. So hopefully we catch some crabs this run. Nothing? All right, we got our first crab. Nice. Good job. Yeah, looks like a good one. Let's take a look
Male,
at it.
female?
It's male. Yep.
Woohoo! First crab.
First crab of the day on
Thank
trap
you.
number what? 5? Yeah, he's pretty big. He's a big crab. You could actually put him in here.
Oh yeah, put him in there.
Put him in the official crab basket. He's big. Big
Wow.
crab. So he's gonna measure him just to show you how we measure the crabs.
No, he's pretty lively.
So we just measure
Oh.
from the spike on the back.
He's like 7 inches.
Yeah, he's off the measurement, so yeah. Jumbo crab, good job.
Woo!
Alright, now we need about 100 more of them. It's round number 3. We only caught 1 crab that entire last round, so it's looking like a very slow morning, unfortunately, but things could pick up, you never know. Got it?
Gotta go fast. Take it back. Yeah. Oh my god. He was trying to get your butt.
Oh my god.
That was so funny.
That was scary.
Say hi. Ooh, feisty.
I'm pulling up to the first trap now on the new spot. This will be our first run in this area. See if there's any crabs over here. Hopefully there's more than the other spot. Nice! There we go. New spot's working. That was trap number 3. Wow, that's a big one. Oh yeah, that's like
He's like 7.
that's like over 7 inches.
Wow,
Yay!
crab.
Another crab. That's number 5. Looks like the crabbing's picking up a little bit. That's good.
Yeah, he's bigger than 5 and a
Yeah.
quarter.
We have just pulled all of our traps. It's about, what time is it now? 11?
Yeah, 11:30.
11:30. All in total, we've only caught 8 crabs. They're all in the cooler. They're all big. I mean, I am a little disappointed because I bought like 10 more traps, so I was really thinking I would catch a lot more than what I normally do. I mean, I'm still grateful and excited that we got 8 crabs, and I'm looking forward to having them as a good meal later. Since we pulled all the traps, now we're going to head back to the dock. So we just got home a little bit ago. The crabs are still in the cooler, so let me grab those right now. Bring in the crabs. Are you excited for the crabs? Yeah? So here's all of the crabs. You can see they're still quite lively. Oh my goodness! Wow, that one went right for the eye. Holy cow. I used to just boil the crabs, but then once I moved to Maryland, people were like, you have to steam them. So now I have a steamer. And I will also add a little bit of beer to the mix. You know, extra flavor. And a little bit of white vinegar. Now just put the lid on, wait about 10 to 15 minutes for the steam to get going and the water to be boiling, and then I'll drop all the crabs in. It's been about 10 minutes and it is now producing lots of steam. The water is boiling, so it is time to drop the crabs in. Got some big claws. Usually after about 5 or 6 crabs, pour some seasoning on there. Kind of layer the seasoning between the crab layers. And that is what a dozen crabs looks like inside the steamer. So I'll put the lid on. And then I will let it sit for about 15 minutes and they should be ready. It's been about 15 minutes, so I'm going to check the crabs. They should be done by now. Let's see what they look like. Here they are, bright orange. They look good. Okay, now that the crabs have cooled, I will show you guys how to pick one of these. And I'll kind of demonstrate what I do. So the first thing I do is I pull off the claws. So this one's already off. And then this one I'll just rip off. Once the claws are removed, I'll take my knife and just kind of make a line right here. Give it a good whack. See, there's like a line right there. And then what you can do is you just kind of snap it, and all of that meat should just pull right out. It's a big chunk of meat right there. And then you can do the same for this right here. So I'll place the knife here. And I do the same thing. Crack it open. This one's a little harder. Let's see. Yep. And get a bunch of meat just like that. And do the same thing for the other crabs or the other claw. You're probably noticing I'm not eating the crab right now, and that's because I'm just saving the meat. I'm going to put all of the meat in this bowl, and I'm going to turn them into crab cakes and crab mac and cheese. I've been eating a lot of crabs lately, so I just want to make these into crab cakes and just save the meat. But I will still demo like all of the processing. But usually I would just put this in my mouth and just bite it off. And there's a piece of cartilage in here, so don't eat that. And then I also will like break the claw, and sometimes there's some meat like up in the tiny little pincher. That's hard to get. I found like a chopstick usually works pretty well to get some of the meat out. Yep. You can see that the meat goes all the way into that claw. Once all the claws are done, we'll move on to these little legs. You can just pinch these right off. Just grab them all. They come off real easily. And then they have this little joint. I just snap it like this. And then you could just squeeze this meat out. You see I'm just pressing down, and you get a little bit of meat that comes out. It's a small amount, but it adds up. And I don't really try to waste anything. And then the only things I keep on are these two like back fins, because I'll save those for later. But once you're done with the legs, now you can start working on some of the meat inside the body. And here you can just yank this off. And then at this point the entire shell comes off. So I just grab it, I just pull all that away, and a lot of its guts and intestines or whatever will come out. Now at this point there's like the lungs, you can't eat any of that, or like none of like the organ stuff. Nobody really eats that. So you could just scrape that in to the crab shell. Now this yellow stuff, in Maryland we call this crab mustard. Personally, I don't really like it because it's a little too briny for me. I don't mind if it's on the meat, but I'm like not one to like put my finger in there and eat it. I have friends that do, and they like it, but it's just not my favorite. So I'll just usually scrape that into the shell, and then I'll just scrape the lungs as well. Just kind of put it all into the shell so it's easy to clean up. And then you're kind of left with this half crab. And then from there, we'll crack it in half and get the meat out of this area and the back fin, which is where most of the meat is. So at this point, you can take your crab and just snap it in half. Just like that. And then you can break it in half again. I kind of just put my finger in here and just break it. I mean, there's really not much technique at this point. I'm sure some people have like really good methods for this. I haven't really found a technique that easily gets all this meat out. But what you're primarily targeting is this back fin area has a lot of meat. So once it's quartered, you could kind of put your thumb in here and get like a ton of meat out. You can see all the meat that's coming out. And I'll put all of that into the bowl. And this is all of the meat where those like little legs connect. So I kind of just work this the best you can, you know, just kind of break it open. And the meat is real flaky in here. It just kind of flakes apart. And when you're done, you should be left with just shell. If anybody has like some really good techniques, let me know. I'd love to hear. This is all the meat from one crab. Doesn't look like a lot, but after doing this for a dozen crabs, you actually get quite a bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if this entire bowl gets filled. I'm just going to continue to process all these crabs. I'm probably going to be here all night. Just kidding. It takes me about 10 minutes to pick a crab. That's probably pretty slow, but I am still new to doing this. So I'm hoping to get that under 10 minutes. That would be, or under 5 minutes. That would be really awesome.